With the kelp, there is specific sodium in kelp called sodium arginate. And sodium arginate is so powerful that it can remove radioactive pollutants from the blood. The sea must also contain sodium arginate. So kelp is one of the herbs that we use to treat our cancer patients. We have many other plants we mentioned earlier on, scientifically known as verbena hastata, verven, blue verven. Do you know that verven is very good for your what we call a central nervous system, which is the brain? So persons with a fog mind, persons with depression, insomnia, even inflammation is one of the culprits that everyone Salvatore complained about. Blue verven is an excellent herb that can help with inflammation. We are back on the street. So I mentioned, you can see next slide. Herbal medicine, many people, it has been well documented. We have a number of organizations all around the Caribbean researching our medicinal plants. We have organizations like Caracas, coming to different islands, identifying the plants, doing scientific research on these plants. We have the CHBA. We have TRAMEL. All these organizations have been studying our medicinal plants and have the information documented. But is it open and given to us freely? No. It has been kept away from us. And that is why we say that we need more education than medication. Next slide. We can attest that in the time of old, we have heard of names like Imhotep, and we have heard that this man healed every disease known to man. Can you tell me what was the medium he used to heal every disease known to man? It was herbs. So why in this present era, our medical doctors are using synthetic drugs to try to heal every disease known to man, when it has been done already by the use of our natural plant? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has been invented already. Our dear Dr. Sebi, in our present time, gave us the evidence, gave us the living evidence that cancer can be reversed, lupus can be reversed, and all the diseases that we are told are incurable. It has been done and will continue to be done. I make it clear to you that we consider free modalities in our approach to healing. Let your foods be your medicine. Consider nutrition. Consider therapies. You may have a pain, you may have inflammation. You don't pop ibuprofen, pop Tylenol, pop aspirin. There are many physical therapies that you can do. A simple infusion with blue verven. You soak your feet in the water of blue verven, and hence it will reduce your pain. Because blue verven is documented to be analgesic and also anti-inflammatory. So therapy, massage your stress. Massage can relieve your stress rather than using antidepressants like Valium, which will interfere with your sleep mode and give you a secondary condition called insomnia. Herbal medicines, the use of our medicinal plants. And I have seen the combination of these three modalities. It is a win-win situation. And hence I have seen healing by this approach, or through this approach. As I mentioned, blue verven, we have chosen a few herbs we have used predominantly in our practice and see the results. Blue verven is not a Johnny come lately. It has been used for millenniums. It has been used to restore or restorate our immunological system and many other systems that we have to safeguard us from disease. Blue vervain is also good for persons with thrombosis or blood clots because it will help with poor circulation. Blue vervain is documented in the American pharmacopoeia to be a good analgesic, meaning that it will help with pain. Next slide. Blue vervain, person suffering from what they call anemia. Anemia simply means a deficiency of iron. Person suffering from what they call sickle cell. Blue vervain is an excellent choice that you can take. We look at blue vervain as an anti-inflammatory, as a diuretic. Hypertensive patients, we use diuretics for hypertension. Blue vervain is documented to be a safe diuretic. And even in Dominica, one of the researches that was done recently, we had some nurses. They were doing some research on which are the predominant herbs that the people in the rural areas use for hypertension. And they had about 13 to 16 herbs, and blue vervain came up number 1. Blue vervain, we know the active components in blue vervain. We know the glycosides, vermilion and verbenine. This is science we're speaking of. Empirical knowledge, empirical evidence. That our herbs are scientifically validated. Next slide. Everyone should know this plant. Scientifically known as Momandika chanti. In St. Lucia, I don't know what you call it. In Dominica, we call it Popoculi or Cerasee. Cerasee is an excellent plant. Cerasee is an excellent plant. Very good for diabetics. The beacon properties will help to stimulate your vital organs. We have blue vervain, we have cerasee. Even in the Chinese medicine, well researched, well studied, Ayurvedic medicine utilizes popoculi. Do you know that a one-through solution, and I'm saying fancy, is covered with cerasee? And we are not utilizing cerasee. The dosage is also one of the elements that they put into our heads that we need to know. But yet this, even the very pharmaceutical pill that you take with the right dosage can cause fatality. Hundreds of thousands of persons die every day from taking drugs that are well prescribed by medical doctors. So what are we talking about dosage when it comes to herbs? There is no documented evidence that herbs are killing anyone. Not one. But you want to say there are persons that have dedicated their life to study this plant that can guide you on dosage. Next slide. Next. Type 2 diabetes. Why is diabetes on the horizon? Why is it not on the decline? The herbs are all about the environment and we neglect them. We disregard them. Is it because they're too cheap? They're too free? Something is wrong with us, my beautiful people. That's why we need a paradigm shift. And start accepting the beautiful medium of the human kingdom we have in the environment. My beautiful people, we have to change from that ignorance because it is causing us to suffer. Cerasee, skin conditions, eczema. Have you ever seen a baby scratch their entire body because of eczema? And continuously a doctor will prescribe what they call prednisolone or prednisone, or steroids, which causes further harm to your immune system. I've seen these things. A simple bath in cerasee can rejuvenate the skin from a cellular level. Many of the herbs grow consider. We also have what we call glycerin bush. All these herbs can be used as baths. And the beautiful thing about herbal medicine, it holistic approach, meaning that you can use it externally and internally. That's the beautiful thing about herbal medicine. Next slide. One of the herbs that we have in our forest, you can tell me, Dr. Semrose, if you have this plant. It is called Kwasi Amara. We know it locally to be Sumagua or bitter wood. Bitter wood is an excellent plant also for diabetics and any intestinal parasites. Bitter wood helps to regulate the gut microbiome, which we are in a lot of ground, the gut microbiome. Because when we use antibiotics, it wipes away the good bacteria likewise the bad bacteria, causing an environment for pathologies and pathogens. The Kwasi Amara is a very bitter herb. It is good for constipation. The Kwasi Amara is a very good tonic for the liver. As we know, the liver is the organ that helps to remove toxins and waste from our body. Kwasi Amara, it's in abundance in our cardinal forest. Are we utilizing Kwasi Amara? We predominantly like sweet and salty. And we say, no, this is too bitter. But the bitter properties in the plants will activate the largest gland in your body and help you to eradicate disease. And also, the bitter properties is the most alkaline base properties. Bitters. Obesity, when it come about, we are people, we were vibrant in terms of gold. Now with fast food and junk foods, causing our blood to be sluggish, bad fats, bad cholesterol. Kwasi Amara is a very good herb you can add to your plan, your regime for weight loss. Dermatitis, psoriasis, etc. Next slide. Another marvelous herb that we have in our environment. It is called Taraxacum officinale, locally known as dandelion. Dandelion is one of the amazing herbs, specifically highly recommended for diabetics, because there is a compound in dandelion called inulin that mimics insulin in the body. Rather than using the natural plants, what we will do, we inject ourselves with animal insulin, expecting this to reverse a condition in the organic body, rather than this cause secondary conditions. It impairs our vital organs. And can you imagine pricking yourself every day? And we consider it normal. Though our bodies are fed up with this approach, but in our minds, we say, if you take about insulin, look at more. Now, beautiful people, that's not factual, that's not true. The fact of the matter, the more synthetic insulin you take, is the closer it brings to our brain. Dandelion, it's a plant that you can use as a vegetable. And mind you don't have to be sick to take a plant. These are prevention. Prevention is better than cure. So it's likewise preventative and also curative. Next slide. Next. Next slide. Another very important plant we have. I've not identified this one in solution, but it will tell me. Plantago ovata. We call it plata. Plata is an excellent plant. When it comes to a number of conditions, earlier we mentioned the cataract and glaucoma. Traditionally, plata was used to cleanse the eye. Because the accumulation of toxins, the accumulation of mucus, can cause one to impair the optic nerve. Plata is an excellent plant that you can use as a tea, and also as an eye wash. Plant is excellent, women especially, for what you call disinfections. In my personal experience, this young lady came to me with itching and foul discharge. For months she went to the medical doctor. They recommended what you call clotrimazole or canesten. And she had been using this thing repeatedly. She came to me. And I recommended Platin to use as a soap, as vaginal soap. And the phone, when I saw her, she said anything to me, she hugged me. She said, thank you, Delisha, thank you. Just by the use of Platin, the infection was born. And not just the Platin, abstain from all foods that feed yeast, cheese, dairy, milk, all these sugars are culprits. Even though we heard that the FDA has said to the dairy industry that when you put a label on cheese, say that it is carcinogenic. Cheese can cause cancer. Next slide. Next slide. Platin, good for cholesterol regulation. Good as an anti-diabetic herb, anti-inflammatory herb. Good for hemorrhoids, or what we call piles. This herb can be taken internally, and also a simple tea of platin, and you sit in it for pile, because pile is an inflammatory condition. We have done it already, and we will continue to do it again. Platin can be used for piles. Next slide. As I mentioned, the Mineria mycocystis ascophyllum, the wonderful plant, the wonderful marine plant called kelp, locally in Dominica called wawet. Kelp is an excellent plant, an amazing plant for treating many disorders. As I've said earlier on, it's good for helping the thyroid gland to work at its optimum level. I also mentioned to you that the kelp contains a lot of vital minerals that our body can utilize. Predominantly, you look at iodine. I've mentioned already sodium arginate, which can help to remove pollutants from the blood as far as radioactive pollutants. Why am I not utilizing these herbs to the full potential? Are we waiting until our back is against the wall? Actually, our back is against the wall already. Because I got a test to you in solution in Dominica. Why whenever there is a pandemic, we run back to the herbs? Because there is a point where we will not send the job to the car anymore. What are we going to do? Sit down and die? The earlier we take advantage of these resources that we have and educate the younger ones and introduce them to these teas. Give your children bush teas so that they can get quiet taste. Give them bigger properties, not just sweet properties. So even when we have to go back to the herbs, it's ultimate. Let's prepare ourselves for that era which is to come. Next slide. Do you know that kelp is anti-cancerous? Kelp is part of our regime for cancer. We extract the nutrients from kelp. And not to keep it ignorant, we'll make a simple bush tea and not get the results. Because we stress on dosage, but method of preparation is more critically important. Because the dosage will come by the strength of the plant, the strength of the extract. Then a physician can determine the dosage. So method of preparation. We were told that, you can't boil the bush, you cannot boil the herbs because you'll destroy the properties. That's a lie. That is misleading information. Any product of nature, I'm saying to you, it is fixed. You can change the cosmetics, the way it looks, but the essence remains. Burn the forest, turn to charcoal. Put the nutrients will remain. Iodine, sodium arginate, we have spoken of that already. Men with prostate problems, this is also on the horizon. Especially amongst our farmers, using pesticides and gramazole. Kelp is one of the plants that we can have in the medicinal cabinet as a preventative and also a plant that can heal from such disease. Next slide. The wonderful Carica papaya. I've exalted it already. I don't have to say more to you. Carica papaya, very good for digestion, very good for gastrointestinal disorders. And I can attest to you that everyone that is on pharmaceutical drugs suffer from acidity, acidosis, suffer from digestive disorder, because our stomach have a mucosal lining. And whenever you take synthetic drugs or chemically based drugs or acidic based drugs, it's going to erode this mucous membrane, causing what we call ulceration. Carica papaya is very good for protecting that mucosa. Next slide. Papaya or popo, anticoagulant. Popo is very good for poor circulation of the blood. Women with menstrual problems, menstrual cramps, ulcers of the stomach, skin disorders, stomach cancer. We have enzymes scientifically proven. Papain and cyclopapain, active ingredients in papaya. This is not lemon. This is not folklore story. This is empirical evidence that our plants have been well researched. Let's not be fooled anymore. Ruber's ideas. Women. This is one of the plants that we recommend as a female tonic. We have a lot of female disorders. And for women, we know every month we go through that cycle, that menstrual cycle. So you need iron on a monthly basis to replenish the loss. Red raspberry. I don't think it was called forest in America. It's a white plant. Forest is excellent. Women have cysts. And you know right now women have cysts, fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, and a host of hormonal problems. Where do these things stem from? We take contraceptives, which will help to bring us closer to these disorders. Most times I consider because of ignorance, we suffer. As the Bible says, our people, we suffer because of lack of knowledge. Not because we are secret people, but because we lack the basic knowledge. Red raspberry. This was a herb predominantly used by our midwives for childbirth and deliveries. Why today we have to take all those synthetic drugs? Red raspberry is reputable. It has been working. And still it continues to work. Next slide. Go ahead, next slide. St. Lucia, I cannot speak of this because you take lead. CMOS. Contains vital minerals, including iodine for the thyroid gland, calcium for your bones, magnesium for the heart, potassium for the kidneys, vitamin K, vitamin C for your skin, for your eyes. A very good source of fiber, highly nourishing. It is called a superfood in the world. So I applaud St. Lucia. Continue to plant the seeds. cannabis indica, cannabis sativa. A herbal system of demonize. A herbal system of told us that it is the gateway to insanity. And we accept that information and carry the plant. Today's science tells us, wow, cannabis contains vital compounds that can destroy cancer cells, malignant cells. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. The cannabis plant, amazing plant. For Parkinson's, good for your central nervous system. Cancer, seizures. Next slide. Even the cannabis plant today, science is telling us that we have embedded in us the endocannabinoid system, which is a system within ourselves, an innate system that can identify the cannabis plant. But you know what? In this present time, the cannabis plant has been manipulated. It has been hybridized. So now you may take cannabis plant and really actually know it can cause you to get sick, cause an imbalance and even insanity. Because the plant has been manipulated. Hybridization. And even as I speak to you, nature is under attack. Our plant kingdom is under attack. Because science assumes that it can better what the Creator created for us, thus causing more harm when you ingest some of the herbs that we have naturally growing in the environment. Next slide. My beautiful people of St. Lucia, as I said to you that this message does not belong to us. We have to advocate to the higher authorities so this message can be implemented. One of the things that have been said in Ireland, we need to incorporate global medicines into our primary healthcare system. We need it, and it takes you to advocate this first. Because one of the areas that we need to understand that global medicine is faith-bound medicine. And if we deny it, we deny this into the awareness. If we deny it, we deny the very living testimonies we have around us today. More education than medication. And also infiltration in our primary system. Because in truth and fact, this is what we call sick care, not health care. Just outside of this building, I'm watching a sign saying wellness. John medication is wellness. When I first started this vocation, wellness was considered to be the natural realm, health and wellness. Now you see sick care claiming that title, and we accept it. Next. Next slide. My beautiful people, thank you. I appreciate your attendance. Remember, we all have a responsibility to educate the uneducated. Liberate the minds of men and women, and ultimately you liberate the bodies from maladies. I speak to you with no praise and no honor to myself, but the very hands that design yourself and design Mother Nature, all glory to the Most High for the privilege to be here today to speak to you. And I trust in the Spirit of Christ. Through the Spirit, all things are possible. Thank you.
Wow, I'm speechless. I've learned so much today. that you all have questions. You all have testimonies maybe, you all have comments maybe, and I'd like you at this time to address the co-authors of this book, Dr. Lockhart and also Deja. And I will pass the mic around so that you can ask your question. Just put your hand up. Okay, right here.
Not to jump the gun, but the products and the books, do you have a single ship-based place we could go to and get there? In case we cannot purchase them now or get them now. So, yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say that tomorrow we are on the Constitution Park from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the books and products will be displayed and sold there. Okay, but to answer your question?
Yes, to answer your question, one of our ventures here today is to create some form of collaboration. Because we know in individual islands we all have practitioners. And until we don't come together to make that resounding sound, individually we work in shadows. So yes, we're looking forward to have our products along with other herbal products in St. Lucia. But at present, we are here today and we'll be leaving on Sunday. So we'll be at the...
We'll be at Constitution Park tomorrow from 10 to 5, yes. And we also have a sign-up sheet. A few people wanted to do one-on-one consultation. So tomorrow we'll actually set us some time to meet with people one-on-one. People have their individual experience and individual issues they want to talk about and get some direct guidance on. Get a food plan on, maybe get a detox and some experience. So we have a sign-up sheet right here for Friday and Saturday for one-on-one consultations. We haven't finalized what will be on Saturday, but it will be based on where people need us to be.
Okay, anybody else?
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir, c'est ici. Bonsoir, Dominica. On content Maraosoya. Marcel qui a emmené en pile herbal medicine, herbal thérapie. Et moi, docteur Saint-Paul, chaque fois il m'a donné yoga. C'est un pionnier, il est content, il m'a dit. Mais il ne peut pas venir souvent. Donc, je vais féliciter les autres pour le meeting là ce soir. Ma petite question, je vais tout le dire. Je vais servi longtemps un produit que je peux même chercher de trouver. Et puis, vous parlez du groupe Tramé, un groupe qui a cherché à nouveau ces médecines Caraïbes là. Il fait un produit qui n'a pas accepté, la France n'a pas accepté dans ces pharmaciens. C'est un produit qui a été viramique. Est-ce que vous connaissez ça? Vous connaissez ça? Viramique. Zéramique. Alors, ces Français ont les pièces produites là dans ces officiels pharmaciens. Mais actuellement, ils ont accepté parce qu'il y a bon. D'accord? Et ces produits-là, maintenant, c'est vrai. Les techniques Covid m'ont acheté au moins 100 bouteilles au moins. Parce que c'est ça qui permet de me chipper contre Covid. Et mon partenaire prend le vaccin. Pendant 2 années, mon pour mon pas le vaccin. Mais comment ça, mon qui a venu dans la voyage travailler, il faut qu'on tenir. Comment on va appeler ça? Permission pour passer, il faut qu'on ait. Oui. Alors, on commence dans le début, maman prend ces vaccins. Mais depuis que je prends ces 3 vaccins, je n'ai pas même mis. Parce que maintenant, on commence à anti-la grippe de carbone, en 2 jours, ça s'est passé. Actuellement, en Pédou, on est passé 3 semaines dans la nuit. Et je pense ça tout le monde, malgré ça, il n'est pas capable. Alors, est-ce que je un produit qui est plus fort que ça? Un produit, parce que moi, parler chercher pour le un produit naturel. Alors, parce que je constate aussi qu'il y a une épidémie fou, et une épidémie à tous ces jours-là. Tout côté, en tout cas, là, on finit sortir tout le monde est là, et c'est la plaque a été longtemps laissée pour nous. Alors, surtout que tous ces gens-là pour vaccin. Donc, est-ce que je dis ça, moi, comme je casse vie, est-ce que je dis un produit qui peut fight, qui peut gouverner contre maladie? Parce que la grippe a été arrêtée longtemps, la grippe a été arrêtée longtemps, actuellement il y a les bonnes. Bon, il a passé, mais alors sans question à poser. Est-ce que ça te comprend une question?
Oui.
Bon, merci. En tout cas, on a félicité les autres meetings. Urban medicine is a future. Donc, il faut. Mais ça ne va pas facile. Urban medicine, c'est future. Et on dit chinois qui travaillent avec. C'est chinois pas beaucoup. Si on travaille avec, c'est parce qu'ils savent que c'est future. So, je vais profiter qui m'a pour moi les autres aider. Est-ce que ça devient un bagage qui meilleur que ça alors que ça a été bon? Et puis actuellement, il n'y a pas faire moyen. Où ça avant, il y a fait ça à la pharmacie Martinique, for you. Now they're selling for 12, 15 euros. And it's flying. Il a couru. Et je vais travailler avant. Parce que moi, je n'ai pas vaccin. Moi, je prends 3 vaccins. Pour qui ça? Parce que moi, je voyager. Surprise de montrer. Bon, merci.
Oui, monsieur, moi, le dis, moi, sorti de la place, sur la Dominique. Dominique, c'est ça, on a qui un herbarium, assis, Remedies. À ta Covid, autant de sorti en Martinique, elle va venir Dominique pour Zébapic. Elle va te cacher Zébapic pour Martinique. Nous lui promis ça. C'est a combination of Zébapic and Kwasiamara. We call it a better bitter. I have learned that every herb has its value and its position. I work with one herb over the other. But based on the situation that you encounter, we recognize the best herb in the condition. So this is a herb, it's a concoction of Kwasiamara and Zébapic. During the COVID season, this was used to protect people from this virus. It's antiviral, antiparasitic. Qui m'a détruit 3 fois, 2 fois par jour. Ou ça peut être droite, ou ça met un dragon chaud. Et bien, on va prendre le premier bagage, là où lever bon matin. So, oui, nous les évacuons. C'est bon, à boire. Moi, ça, il y a un docteur qui est docteur Joseph. Oui.
C'est un pharmacien Guadeloupe.
Oui. So, we are not ignorant of that fact. So, Zébapic is predominantly in our forests in Dominica.
Thank you.
Nous n'avons pas de Zébapic. Et où ça, c'est ça. Il n'y a pas de télé. Et c'est tellement bon. Les pharmaciens n'ont pas de télé. Parce que vous-même dit. Oui, l'industrie. Des gens qui à charge. Oui. Donc, c'est parce que quand tu travailles, si tu travailles, nous ne pouvons pas gagner par ailleurs. Ça peut faire, non? Mais nous savons, nous livrer, nous les croiser à malade. It's a wood, so ça nous est bon et là.
I think I can project my voice. We wanted to conclude. for your achievements. I would like to ask about detoxifying the body. How often should we do that?
As we said earlier on, detoxification is very important. Cleansing the body is very important. As it was part of our cultural heritage, our parents would consider giving us a washout every summer. But we understand that we need to detoxify at least every 3 months, preventing the accumulation of toxins, also destroying viruses and bacteria that can overwhelm our system. So we advise you to detox this every quarterly year. You take some purgative and also blood purifiers. Yes, we also have a full detox package available. We consider a 9-day cycle for detoxification. And I've seen persons with hypertension for years. A simple detoxification, they would come and say, Deja, I've never seen my blood pressure so regulated before. So detox alone can do so many wonderful things to your body. But you know what? We neglect the process. And one of the key herbs that will help with detoxification is herbs with bitter properties. And we have a problem there. It is never big. People will complain because it's too bitter. But the bitter herbs will activate the largest gland in the body, helping in removing toxins and waste. So I said to us, introduce our children to bitter properties at an early age. So as they grow, they will get an acquired taste and not say nyak when you give them bitter properties in the adulthood.
Thank you. I have a follow-up question. Is that okay?
Yes. Can I tell you one thing before the follow-up question on the detox? So, a number of clients of mine in the US and across the globe, when they think of detox, they think of just pooping, they think of just taking some kind of something to make you go to the bathroom for excretion. But when we speak of detoxification, we want to be sure that we're encouraging you and educating you on detoxing yourself at a cellular level, your blood, your liver, various organs. So you want to detox not just to poop, not just to clean out your gut, not just to clean out your colon, but to detox yourself, your cells, your body, not just your stomach. So the part of the detox that we promote and that we educate people on is detoxing your blood. So we advise the bitter properties, the beta bitter, a blood purifier, and in addition, your colon and cleansing your gut and all of that. And doing the 9-day cycle is like you give your body the time to rejuvenate those cells. You detox and detoxify, and then you rebuild your blood. You rebuild yourself and give yourself a chance to rejuvenate and come back. So not just flush it out, but build back up and come back, build back better, as they would say. So it's a whole cycle, not just to go, people say, I saw some juice, I take some juice, some detox juice. Not just some juice to make you poop, but something to rebuild you on the blood, on the cellular level, a holistic approach. Also with your food, start with the food. Clean out the old stuff and then build it back up with what you need. You have another follow-up question, right?
Yes, but you more or less covered it, saying that the food is important, so. I said you more or less covered it because you said the food is important, so it's not just the detox, but the food has to go with it to rebuild the body. I would digress with another question. In your practice, Deja, I know right now we have a common thing with our people. We have a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's around the place. I would like to know whether you had any experience in treating those patients as well as persons with lupus. You said it's curable. And you mentioned about the thyroid. I see people walking around with, I think, what we call goiter, huge glands or lymph nodes. While it is true, there may be other medical conditions, but just if you have anything to share in your practice.
Yes. Speaking of lupus specifically, some years ago, I had a young lady that was diagnosed with lupus. And she was going to the hospital very often, frequently, for pain and, post-circulation and feeling unwell. And I placed her on a regime. And to my awareness, she said, since I started taking your herbal medicines, I've never gone to the hospital for the condition I used to go to the hospital for before I started taking your herbs. We have a wonderful herb, papaya, but this time it's the young leaves of the papaya. Because sometimes people with lupus, there is an autoimmune condition. This young lady brought to my attention that after the numerous tests in the United States, she said, Deja, these people use me like a guinea pig. They want me to remove my spleen. They want me to do much blood transfusion. She came to the conclusion that lupus is caused by excess parasites in your blood. So one of the herbs we use for such condition is charcoal. Charcoal is excellent to remove parasites from your blood. We also use the young shoots of the papaya to increase in your platelets count. You mentioned about hypothyroidism, the inflammation of the thyroid gland. I would like to say to us, some of the illnesses that we have in this present day, the first place I saw some of the illnesses was the side effects of certain drugs. When we think illness may develop within our body overnight, based on what we ingest, can cause these disorders to thrive. So many pharmaceutical drugs, the side effects are cancer. The very medication you get for cancer, chemotherapy, can cause cancer. The very medication you get for hypertension can cause heart attack and strokes. Or take aspirin, you prevent from getting strokes and heart attacks. Numerous persons on aspirin, they getting strokes. And aspirin, as we know, is a synthetic derivative from a plant called the white willow bark, salicylic acid. So all the synthetic drugs have a natural origin. So a lot of these drugs that we consume, the disease that we suffer today, it is listed in the list of side effects of these drugs. Hypothyroidism is one of them. We take steroids, prednisone. It can cause lupus. It can cause autoimmune disorders. That is why it's advisable. I'm not, honestly, forcing you to choose the herbal kingdom. But if you choose to go to your medical doctor for any drug, please do your research. Google it, and you will see the host of side effects you are exposing yourself to because you ingest these drugs. So yes, a lot of the illnesses that we have in our environment is due to the side effects. Or not even the side effects, the effects of these chemical drugs that we're taking. Sad but true.
Yes. 3 things I want to ask. In St. Lucia, since the COVID pandemic, we have not had any official Ministry of Health, CMO, whoever, come to address the people with the issues with the vaccine injury, and there's also anxiety, mental health situations, because people are concerned that they took the vaccine and all the information that's coming out now as to, how the vaccine came about and, all the economics behind it and the persons that were pushing it and so on. And the European Union banned a lot of the vaccines now. And I find it very very unprofessional of our CMO and our medical people here that nobody has sought to address the people, especially persons who took the vaccine. People are going crazy in their minds as to what's going to happen to them, a couple of years down the line. And nobody has addressed that. So in light of this, I don't know if you've probably been approached on that already, but do you have any special detox for people who took the vaccine, who would like a detox to cleanse the system of this? Is it possible to even detox the system from the vaccine and so on? That's one question. Secondly, I want to ask, in St. Lucia, we have a problem of COPD. A lot of our young people are catching COPD, and they say it's from mixing marijuana with different cigarette and hemp, and it's mixing of stuff, that they're smoking. Now, we've also heard that long ago, people who used to make coal pit, they used to inhale all the smoke from the coal pit and so on, and they live 80 and 90 years and they never really got COPD. So we have a problem of COPD right now. What's your recommendation for that COPD situation? What do you think that can cure it and so on or reverse it? And thirdly, I've read somewhere that when you talk about alkaline earlier, I read somewhere that a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of baking soda in water to mix it and drink it on a daily basis would help your body to become alkaline, as you live your life. Like you just practice this, half a teaspoon of baking soda in water you drink to help your body even attain alkalinity. What's your view on that? Thank you.
I must say I'm very skeptical about getting remedies over the internet or on YouTube. The question you have with baking soda, I've tried my best to find out what is the raw material we get baking soda from. Which is the raw material? Can you answer that question? I've looked, I've researched, I've found it. So I don't advocate to that protocol, because I need to know from what source baking soda comes from. Is it a natural source? It is a modified source? So I can't really answer that question, because I've searched and tried to find what is the medium, the natural medium baking soda is derived from. I cannot find that information. With vaccination, many persons would come and say, oh, Deja, I want to detox because I've taken the vaccine. I always consider the bitter herbs to be highly recommended for such conditions. And it is not something that I could say that I have read, but as a physician, there is an inborn intelligence within myself, and I listen, and I heavily recommend bitter properties for persons that have been vaccinated. Because bitter properties, as I said, will activate the vital organs to help to remove these toxins. Because the vaccine has so many side effects, thrombosis, Also, it helps to create more strokes and heart attack. So this is so complex, bro. I mean, to give you a specific answer to your question, I'm not in this position. But I could say to you, listen to my inborn intelligence, bitter properties, herbs with bitter properties can help to build back your blood and help to get rid of these parasites in your blood. Also help to, as what they call anticoagulants, meaning that, the thickening of the blood, can help as natural blood thinners. Because a lot of people right now are suffering from post-circulation. Why? So, COPD, I mean, there's so many genetically engineered foods, and even the herbs, as I've said. A lot of herbs that will help with your respiratory system. I highly recommend them. I mentioned plate. Plate is an excellent plant. And we can use plate as part of our salads. Because sometimes we need to not consume the herbs in their raw forms. And these are the things that we are not doing predominantly. So persons that have been vaccinated, I would say, consider bitter properties into your diet on a daily basis.
So something I would say about baking soda, and in some research from before, baking soda is what? Sodium bicarbonate. And back in the day, they used to extract natural sources and find sodium bicarbonate. But in the last 50 years or more, it is made in a lab. It's synthetic, and that is a big problem right now. Because a lot of things that were natural before, and we could count on them, and now hybridized and GMO, genetically modified. So the issue, especially with that, is not being able to trust where things come from. For example, I teach at a school in Texas, and cannabis. Back in the day, people smoke weed and no problem. But in 1 week, some time ago, about a year ago, in a space of about 8 days, there were about 6 students who had done, they smoked weed and they all ended up in the hospital, right? They collapsed in school. Never heard of that happening, but it turned out it was synthetic weed. It was synthetic stuff. So we have to be so careful with where we get what we get from. So yes, we have to start the process of adding these things to our food and our regimen, but we have to be careful where we get things from. We have to be aware.
Thanks very much for this, session. That's something we should be doing much more of here. So thanks for coming to St. Lucia and educating. And I really wish to commend you, Dr. Lockhart, for, it's miraculous that you are here with us and doing such great work. So may God continue to strengthen you and bless you and all this great work that, he has allowed you to do. And with DJ there, you've been doing the research and valuable contribution to, what I consider integrative medicine. So sometimes we need some of the drugs just for a short period of time, and then we might need to go and undo the adverse effects of it, but sometimes we need it for a short period of time, and I practice integrative medicine. But in terms of the acidity that can occur from the use of drugs, of course, we have to counteract that. In terms of the acidity we can get from certain foods, we have to counteract it with alkalinity. But the body does need some amount of acid. It needs like 20% acid and 80% alkaline. And these are things we balance as we go through life daily, considering what we eat, we fast, and that sort of thing. In terms of the sodium bicarbonate, it's supposed to be a very good product. These days you have to be very mindful of the source. And there are some that have aluminium, so you definitely have to read the label to make sure you don't use that one. But the sodium bicarbonate itself is from a natural source. So if you can get that.
Well, what is the natural source?
It's called nacolites. So it's a natural source called nacolites. So you just have to look into the source, but it's a very good product, and the reason for it being so great is because it makes the body alkaline, which is what you've been talking about. So that is the greatness of the sodium bicarbonate. So a lot of people use it for that purpose. So we mustn't be scared of it, just be aware of the source. In terms of detoxing against COVID, is something, I do a lot of, and that's very, very important because, like Aaron says, there's the fear of what the COVID injection has done, and we see it. Now it's accepted that you get sudden death. Sudden death is an accepted thing, having increase of strokes and the rise of cancer, all of that, our health authorities are not saying anything about that. But we know why, and it's because we have invested more in vaccines. If not for COVID, for kids, they're coming up with monkeypox and disease X and Ebola. So we have to look after ourselves. No need to wear no, because they're looking after their money. So in terms of those who have taken, you know, the COVID injection, and my friend here, you know, you must be compliant. When you're told what to take, you must take it. There's something called compliance. So first you identify the right thing to take, and you must take it. In terms of detoxing against the COVID injection, we've been doing a lot of research on it, and I don't know if you'll have Artemisia annua in Dominica. So there's the Artemisia, but the annua, Artemisia annua, are actually imported because this is the one that's specific against the spike protein of the COVID injection, and I also use the chinchona bark. So we have some in the forest, but probably not getting enough, so unfortunately they're imported till, you know, we grow more because these are things we can't grow here. But in terms of immediately putting a COVID detox together, I use that, plus clove. Clove is very good because we know that, you know, the parasite component of what this COVID injection has done is very much part of it. So I've put together a COVID detox. It also has some moringa because you need to have the antioxidants and nourishment as well. So, and I got good old cerasee, Momordica charantina, very good. So I put together the COVID detox. And I still use our semi-synthetic ivermectin, which I was, you know, penalized for. I fought for it, and it's on the market, and the research is showing that it is very effective against that spike protein of the COVID injection. Ivermectin. So ivermectin, I have a regime, and it's part of what, you know, the scientists I work with from Frontline COVID Clinical Care Alliance, doctors in the US, World Council for Health. We do a regime of giving a daily dose of the ivermectin for 2 weeks, and then now they say you can just take 1 dose a week, you know, to keep away the spike protein, because this is what is going through the system, causing autoimmune disease and the strokes and problems in the circulation and causing the cancer. And I've maintained my bravery in now treating cancer, because there's an increase in cancer with the ivermectin based on the research that is coming out. And the same Artemisia herb, it's herbal ivermectin, so, you know, you must tell me what you have in your forests out there in Dominica, because you could have the Artemisia, just like you have so much zebra peak, and you all were looking all over for zebra peak, and you all had it in Dominica. So we have to look into, you know, what we have here, and thanks very much for reminding the people that herbs for the healing of the nation, and this is what will save us. They're trying to put it under the table, get rid of it, because they know we can plant it in our yard and do it for ourselves, and will not take the big pharma medicine, which is what will create more disease and keep us dependent on them forever. So free up yourself, liberate yourself. Thanks for the education, and we all work together. We're happy to see our Honorable Priest Kailash here. We've been fighting, and everybody's doing their bit to educate our people. Because the people, they have the big CNN, they have, you know, the television, they have all the media that is giving all the false propaganda. And now they even want to have a bill where when we give the good education, they want to penalize us. So you have to watch that, you know. There's what's called misinformation and disinformation. So watch out. They're coming after your truth. And to label you as giving disinformation, misinformation, and they might want to jail you. But God is in charge.
And yes, to let you be aware of, we do have Artemisia in Dominica. One of the names that we call locally is sweet wormwood. Yeah, wormwood, yeah. So we do have it, and we do use it in our combination, in our detox package, yes.
Hi, good night everyone. I missed most of your presentation. I was in fact, actually I'm at work right now. I just took time off to sneak in. But I'm looking around the room here, And I did a quick calculation, and please excuse me for judging your age based on how you look, but the average age in here is actually 42 and a half years based on my calculations. And I'm bringing that up because I am one who truly believes that we really need a health revolution, especially in the Caribbean region. And listening to all the presentations, it's difficult to change the habits of persons our age. A lot of us sometimes listen to these talks. I mean, I listen to the priests whenever I have the time. I listen to, and I understand the importance. And I'll be very honest with you, there are lots of my habits I have not changed. And I think it's simply because I've been engaged in them for too long. I'm going somewhere with this. We have introduced Mandarin in our schools. We teach Mandarin. We teach French and Spanish in primary school. A lot of good things in the school curriculum we have taken out. And I'm saying perhaps the biggest expense to all countries around the world is health. Every country in the world, that's where the majority of the money is spent in health. Why haven't we introduced herbal medicine, call it whatever you want, alternative medicine, but we need to start with our very young. Even children who grew up in homes where herbal medicine was the norm for a lot of ailments, from the time they go to school and they get into the so-called education system, which we know is essentially rich people getting richer. That's what our education system is all about. A lot of the things that we really need, I taught for 40, I can't remember, that's how long I taught for. And a lot of the things we really need in school, they're not there. We're not educating on those things. There's physical education, which is supposed to be health-oriented. It's supposed to deal with the wellness of the body, which involves nutrition, and I am a believer in preventative medicine. You know, I don't believe in having a lot of huge hospitals and so on. For me, if we develop those habits and we're knowledgeable of simple things in our kitchen garden. I grew up with a grandmother who had a herb for everything, including hangovers. She would just boil a tea and 48 hours you'd be okay. So I'm saying, is there anywhere in the world where a concerted effort has been made through practitioners like yourself, Dr. Logat, to engage the governments with regards to our education system and perhaps putting together a syllabus? You understand? It's a subject area in school, and of course for the early childhood and primary it would be very simple things and so on, but at least when they get to our age, they would have had sufficient information to make educated choices on whether or not they prefer the synthetic drugs or they want to keep it natural. So I'm saying, is any attempt being made anywhere to infiltrate the education system? The only way we can really have this health revolution is not with older people. We have to start with the very young. And so the one way to reach the very young, no matter all the town hall meetings and community workshops and so on, because a lot of times people don't attend these. And if a young child, if Priest Kalash comes on with very important information, the teenagers at South Hollis Community College will switch the channel. Because what they know, they're not interested in that. But if from the age of 3 and 4 and 5, they have been engaged somehow, consistently throughout their education on the importance of that and how it can really prevent you from actually getting very ill. So the question is, can those persons who are knowledgeable enough and other practitioners engage the governments to tell them, listen, we are preparing a syllabus guide that we want you to introduce in the schools so that our young people are growing up better informed on alternative medicine. Is that done? Has it been done anywhere? And can it be done?
It absolutely can be done. It absolutely can be done, and I'm so happy you brought that up. And yes, many similar things have been done in other parts of the world, and you probably saw on the screen presentation, there was a part where at the end we saw that the WHO, the World Health Organization, has recognized natural herbal remedies and natural plant-based medicine as something that's critically important and vital, especially for countries in the developing world. So the institutions out there, a lot of them have already recognized it. What we need now is something you spoke about, this health revolution in the Caribbean, and it'll take some small steps. But I'll tell you, even Mr. Deja thought of that. When we first started collaborating, the first thing he said, I want to design this coloring book for children. I want to design this book. And so there is a children-based version of this very book that's coming very soon, with many of the herbs, even more herbs that are featured in this plant, in the coloring book for them to color and learn about it and start there. But that's just one little step. What you mentioned, this health revolution in the Caribbean, we need, and I'm so happy that Dr. St. Rose is here, Pris Kalash is here, because we have so many components across the Caribbean and across countries. And what we need to do now is come together and push for the institutions like the WHO, like CARICOM, like the OAS where I worked for many, many years, to start to recognize the need for this, because as we talked about accessibility and availability, affordability, we need to start to get these institutions on board, to start to help us to move the message forward, put that curriculum in schools, because we have to have buy-in, you have to have them involved, they have to be on board. For example, the Ministry of Education, if you have a Ministry of Crime and all of that, because guess what? When we start building our systems and building our families, you will see a movement away from crime, away from conflict, and a way to get towards resolving those critical areas now. Because guess what? The base of my background is in conflict resolution, conflict analysis and resolution, and this is one of the stepping stones, the foundational stones to resolving conflict, to addressing crime and violence and issues like that. So we have to get it into the school system, bring in the institutions. But beyond that, the first step, I will tell you, we have 42 average in here. That's a good thing. We start here because you know what? We are the parents. We are the grandparents. So if we start, remember the challenge to this for everybody in here to start with changing their diet. When the children see us, we are the example. We are the ones. So we're going to start here. But then, like you said, yes, to make this systematic, we have to get to the institutions. We have to bring it to the school. And that's something that we definitely need to journey upon. And I want to encourage you and everybody here to start pushing, start encouraging, start talking. Start bringing it up, because one person may know somebody else will know somebody else, and that's how this story goes. So definitely we have to get there one step at a time, because the funding is needing, the partners are needed. For example, this journey is solely funded by us. So getting those buy-in, getting the institutions on board will take the message and the modalities and what we need a long way. But we're going to start with you and those ideas.
Yeah, you were talking about the bitter. Aloe vera is really bitter. Is that one of the plants that you would use for your bitter remedies? That's one question. The second question is, the kokum kuli, that's the one that turns orange with the little red seeds inside. Okay, I grew up in Trinidad, and they have Karaili, and a lot of half the population is of East Indian descent, and a lot of them are Hindus, and they cook the Karaili, but it's not the kokum kuli one, it's the family, the green one. It's called a bitter gourd. Cooking the bitter gourd sometimes reduces the bitterness when they cook it like in a takari or in an Indian way with turmeric and oil and stuff like that. Does it weaken the effect of the bitterness when you cook it just like a normal meal, and like I asked about the aloe vera. Both of those plants being very bitter.
To be honest, predominantly, I don't use aloe vera much in my mealy medicines, but aloe vera does have a place, you know, in the herbal kingdom. With the coraili, I know normally they would boil it and they would extract the water that they boil to get rid of the bitter properties and reboil it so that the bitter properties are less. But as for boiling the plant and getting rid of the bitter properties, I am not aware of that. You need to change the water and boil it again in new water so that you will not taste the pungency of the bitter properties.
But it wouldn't weaken because you say the bitter properties is what does all the curing in the body. So you wouldn't want to wash out the bitter properties when you're cooking the karaili, would you?
Exactly, no.
So don't wash it in the water then. Just cook it straight.
Yeah.
Take it off the vine, cut it up and cook it one time. And enjoy the bitterness, basically.
Exactly. There was a question this young lady had concerning dementia, Alzheimer's. Let's go back in time. Let's say about 40 years ago. We had predominantly in our communities the use of our coconut oil. And our coconut oil, we were told that it is high in saturation, bad fats, bad cholesterol. And our coconut oil industry was destroyed by the US. And they gave us soybean oil, they gave us canola oil, they gave us corn oil. In this present time, even for a condition like dementia, having a spoon of coconut oil taken every morning can reverse these conditions. Because coconut oil is very good for the brain, very good for memory, because the brain needs good fats. And the excuse that they're giving us today after destroying an industry that was thriving, because we have more obesity in the world that we have in today. Norway coconut oil is superior. But yet the most alarming and disturbing part of the equation. In Dominica at present, you can only buy a bottle of coconut oil for $80 to $100. And I would say 60% of the coconut oil now is imported.
Really?
After destroying our industry. And these are the things that we have been observing even with our herbs. Cannabis is one of them. So these first world countries which we heavily rely on, they destroy our industries. After years, they maximize by giving us the very things they destroy that we had. And you know something? There's no group advocating for the ills that they have done, which is irreversible. Heart attack and strokes because of this oil inferior oil that they have given to us. So yes, I would advise everyone in this room, have a tablespoon of coconut oil every morning to preserve your brain.
In particular, the virgin coconut oil, because the virgin one, where you don't use heat and process in it, so by centrifuging or just scooping it up, so the virgin one, or eat the dry coconuts. When they're in the madhouse eating dry coconuts, that's what they're doing, helping the brain. In terms of dementia, you have to look at things like stress and the aluminum foil, the toxins, all these sort of things, and undernourishment. But I wanted to speak more on what the gentleman here was talking about in terms of the education. And Dr. Lockhart is still, I don't know why, you still have confidence in the authorities to bring any proposal to PAHO, WHO, to have any program. Look what they did. They were all over the years, they were doing what they were doing to us, and COVID exposed them. So we have to get them out and deal with them. But let's see what Robert Kennedy does in the US in terms of making America healthy again, and we would look into making our Caribbean healthy again. But don't depend on these people. Don't bring any program to them. The education in the school, you know, it's all geared for using the children's brain to do nonsense. Now I really wish to applaud you on this book here, the Wellness Journal. I've looked at it, and I always state that it's important that persons take responsibility for their health. And we at World Council for Health, we're putting together country councils where we form groups so persons become aware of the real truth. And the country council will be looking at other groups in the communities, in the village, and in the household, down to the level of the individual, so that you get to know yourself. So this book which you have there is called a Wellness Journal, Your Journey to Healing and Self-Discovery. There are too many people, they come and sit in your office, they listen to you, you tell them stuff, and they go and they just still confused. So you need to get them to get to a level of realization and idealization. So this book you have put there will have them think about themselves, have a journal, a plan to get themselves to where they should be. So I wish to highly applaud you, and I notice it doesn't have a copyright. So this is something I would like to, you know, give to my patients. In fact, I'll give some as gifts for Christmas. So come 2025, they'll start 2025 looking at themselves to move themselves forward. So thanks very much. You know, this is something we can look at into printing, and you know, you can give it to them in the schools, you can give it to them in the household. But WHO, powerful as it is now, good Lord, yeah, let's not try that till we know that they have repented. They have not repented. They did all this killing people and they say nothing. They just want to give you more drugs. You're going back to these people?
Yeah. So, in conclusion,
yeah, my name is Olubo Scott's Head in Dominica, and I'm part of this team. I'd just like to thank Deja and Dr. Lockhart for the excellent work they've done and for teaching people to get back to Mother Nature. We are what we eat, and my concern is for children. I was in town this afternoon, and the pizza shop, the huge number of children, it's okay if you eat one pizza a week, but if you're doing 2-3 times a day, I'm afraid there are concerns. And our job is to teach our children to go back to the natural way, because I'm really very much concerned, not only about children in St. Lucia and young people in St. Lucia, but I'm extremely concerned about our children throughout the Caribbean Sea. Jamaica, Trinidad, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Dominica, you name it. And so our job, those of us who are parents, to ensure that we bring our children back home.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And you know, you mentioned about the mental health issues. As he mentioned, everything leads one to the other. Start with the foods. And the gentleman from Trinidad, for example, spoke about the aloe vera and boiling the herb. And I will tell you that the research has shown that yes, we need it bitter, but even if you boil it and take it, it still gives you something. So it's better to even start there, never stop. And especially the aloe vera, people tend to go to the inside of the aloe vera that's not bitter. But as you mentioned, the bitter property is what we need. So the challenge is to try to get some of the outside, the bitter part. Because if you only have the inside, you're missing half of it.
Yes.
Yeah, bless, give thanks. I just want to give thanks for your presentation for what I heard. I mean, the very first time I went to Dominica, it was Deja who housed me. So Deja has been doing the work for a long time. So I give thanks for your growth, and the works that you've continued doing. I like to encourage the people, when you travel and you lecture, and after someone gives an hour and a half lecture, that's hard work, and you really have to support them by buying something from them. So my message to you tonight is, at least everyone buy something from the brother, and it's a free lecture. And after you speak for almost 2 hours, you're still asking so many questions. So make sure that you spend every money with him. And if you can't spend it today, come and spend it tomorrow and bring some other people to spend some money with the Honorable. Give thanks for the works, Honorable, and all the best while you send it.
Yes, I give thanks for Priscilla, because I must say, years ago, when I thought I was on the journey alone, I met Priscilla, and we collaborated in Dominica. So I want to applaud him many, many times. As Dr. Lockett said, that this venture is solely from our pockets. We have no funding from no one. And even right now, I'll call Priscilla to give him a token of appreciation for the motivation that he has given unto us. Yes, thank you. So in conclusion, we have been very innovative. We have a stock of herbs on the floor. And we consider this to be a pile of herbs that you can ground down. So we advise you to remove your shoes and come and join us to show tribute to our ancestors and the herbs that we have. And let's ground on these herbs. So I welcome you to the herbs grounding. Fragrance. Definitely, it will make you sleep, definitely. Well, what if you try, you will know. That's the joy, that's the joy. Yeah, that's the joy. Exactly, the spellability. Enter to your pores. Instead of growing and remove inflammation in your body. Spray this also as you brush it. Let's
way?
Yeah. Have to go back on that way.
When do you plan? After the event?
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, what is the karaoke? What is the karaoke? Sorry, yeah? Quickly. Because we pass. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right? Yeah, video thing. Yeah, thank you. So you don't mind that? Let's take a quick pass.
That was on medical for 10 years and they're not on it program.
Sorry.
So I highly recommend you sign up for a consultation. And let's go one-on-one for sure. No, not yet.
You have disconnect me already? Power? Alright. You'll disconnect the audio? On audio? On the power and the audio? Alright, you know what I mean? That's my Excel out there? Yeah.
Yeah.